Hey guys, I just wanted to touch base today. I've been reading through the papers and looking over the unit exams and tests and those kinds of things, the forum discussions. Just wanted to say a few things about uh, things that have to do with the class and how well you're doing with that and that kind of thing, not about the content of the Old Testament. So just a few things. On the forum discussions, I noticed that there's a number of you that are still having very short responses to one another. I understand we're all in a time crunch and everything, but the idea of the forum is not really to go, oh, I agree with you. Oh, I disagree with that. Uh, it's to engage in the conversation and to look at things and add things to what people are saying or question what people are saying. So just to let you know, when you do that kind of thing and just go, oh, I agree with you, you're not getting the full credit for participation in the forums. And so you just need to be aware of that. There should be a little more robust responses and conversations or points driven and adding something to the conversation rather than just I agree or disagree with something. On the papers, I just want to encourage you. You have the one due tomorrow and then the one due next week. Two more papers. Want to really encourage you to follow the directions that are given in these papers. Some of you, it's obvious that you haven't read the whole thing. You just got an idea of what the paper's about and then you write it. And so then you don't always follow the directions. Include bibliographies if that's in the direction to do that. These are research papers, some of them anyway, and so especially like the character study, some of you didn't use a bibliography that was asked for in the direction. Follow the directions that are asked for. Make sure you're completing the assignment because that will impact how well you do on these papers. This is going to be especially true when you get to the last paper is like your final exam. That's where you say, this is what I've learned in the class and this is what my view of the Old Testament is now that I've gone through the class. So follow the directions. Make sure you're saying everything you want to say in that because that's a big deal with the final for the class. Also, I just want to say whether it's on a test and you're studying for a test or whether you're answering questions in the forums or doing your papers, when I ask you to relate stuff to the big picture, I'm really asking you to go back to that whole big story of the world was created in this perfect ideal thing God saw as good, and then there's this mess up of that in Genesis 3 through 11, and then what the whole Old Testament is about is how is God working with people to get them back. So when you're asked a question, how's the Moses story or the Samson story or the Ruth story, how does that fit with the big picture? We're saying, how is what God is doing with those people in their day and age and with the whole people of Israel at that time, how is that God fixing things? And what is it seemed to be God's strategy to fix things? Does he just zap everything out and fix it and now it's okay? Or how is he working with people? So when I talk about that big picture, that's what I'm talking about. How is God redeeming, restoring, making things better, moving things back to the way they were supposed to be? So in your conversations or papers or even as you study for the test, be aware that that's what I'm concerned about. We want to be looking at those big picture things and how does it all tie together. So I thought that'd be good to just give you a little short thing to say at this point in the class, here's some things I've noticed, and hopefully that helps you in the next few weeks in preparing for tests, writing your papers, and that kind of thing. Thanks so much, and hope you're having a good week.